Two legendary names, one ultimate showdown. Today, we're diving into the clash of Toyota Titans. The rugged and reliable 2025 Toyota 4Runner, built for off-road enthusiasts and adventure seekers, versus the iconic 2025 Toyota Land Cruiser, redefining luxury and capability in the world of SUVs. Which Toyota will conquer the wilds and win your heart? Is it the tried-and-true 4Runner with its go-anywhere spirit, or the revamped Land Cruiser, blending heritage and innovation? Stick around as we break down their features, performance, and everything else you need to know. Let the battle begin. So, this is Parth, and you are watching MotorNation. But before we move ahead, we are just 430 subscribers away from our next milestone of 2.5K subscribers. Join the family so we can achieve it together, as your support means the world to us. Starting up with a basic overview, Toyota's off-road and truck offerings are the freshest they've ever been following a busy 2 years of new products. And after a long wait, it's finally time for the 4Runner to receive the modernization treatment. As predicted, the 2025 4Runner shares its platform with a new Tacoma pickup truck and comes standard with the same turbocharged 4-cylinder powertrain that makes 278 horsepower. A hybrid model with 326 horsepower is also offered, but we review that model separately. Toyota has retained the customary roll-down rear window, and the new 4Runner's exterior design remains square-jawed, handsome, and rugged. The rest of the package has been thoroughly updated, too, and optional tech features include a 14.0-inch infotainment touchscreen, a head-up display, a 12.3-inch digital gauge display, and a wireless smartphone charging pad. A host of driver assistance features are also offered, and many of them are standard. Don't think that the 4Runner has gone soft, though. It comes with plenty of off-roading gear to help you tackle whatever the trail throws at you. Expect to see the new 4Runner in Toyota showrooms by the end of 2024. On the other hand, after a brief disappearing act that we thought would spell the end for the Land Cruiser on our shores, Toyota's iconic off-roader returned last year with renewed purpose. Now motivated by a 4-cylinder hybrid powertrain good for a combined 326 horsepower, it shares its bones with the Lexus GX and has been downsized slightly, losing its third row in the process. The LC's newfound tidiness puts it in line with other legendary trail experts, such as the Ford Bronco and the Jeep Wrangler. The Land Cruiser has been reworked and modernized inside and out, packing the latest Toyota infotainment tech and plenty of driver aids, while retaining a serious four-wheel drive system and plenty of nods to LC history, including the base model's round headlights. Moving on to what's new for 2025. After a long decade and a half, the 5th generation of the 4Runner ends, replaced by this new 6th-gen model. The model uses the new 2024 Tacoma pickup truck as its base and sports more modern features, but still retains a rugged exterior design. While, aside from the removal of the first edition model offered for 2024, there are no changes to the Land Cruiser lineup. Talking about the engine, transmission, and performance, all 4Runners come with a 278 horsepower turbocharged 2.4-liter 4-cylinder and an 8-speed automatic transmission. A rear-wheel drive layout is standard, but a full-time 4-wheel drive system is optional and comes with a 2-speed transfer case with high and low range. All manner of terrain-conquering equipment is offered, including optional disconnecting stabilizer bars, a locking rear differential, and an off-road cruise control system. The hybrid models are available with even more off-road goodies, including manually adjustable dampers, but we review that model separately. The maximum towing capacity for the 2025 Toyota 4Runner is 6,000 pounds, a robust figure compared to many of its competitors. That represents a 1,000-pound improvement over the previous generation 4Runner and is more than the Jeep Wrangler's maximum. Similar to this, given that this is an entirely modernized and smaller generation of a Land Cruiser, Toyota has elected to install a hybrid powertrain in place of a naturally aspirated V8 engine. A turbocharged 2.4-liter four-cylinder is assisted by two electric motors to make 326 horsepower. If this setup sounds familiar, that's because it's similar to the powertrain offered in the Toyota Tacoma. All Land Cruisers come with an 8-speed automatic transmission and a 4-wheel drive system featuring a locking center differential, low-range gearing, a crawl control system, and hill descent control. In our test drive, we found that the hybrid powertrain provides good torque, but noticed that the boost from the electric motors is inconsistent due to the small battery pack. The Land Cruiser provides a smooth ride on the road and is significantly quieter than vehicles like the Ford Bronco and Jeep Wrangler. The Land Cruiser's max tow rating is 6,000 pounds when properly equipped. Talking about the interior, comfort, and cargo, if the 4Runner's cabin looks familiar to you, that's because it shares much of its styling with the Tacoma pickup truck. The dashboard and infotainment setup are essentially identical. There are storage bins strategically placed throughout the interior, and all the controls look to be within easy reach for the driver. What the Tacoma doesn't have is the 4Runner's optional third-row seat. Although it'll be a squeeze for adult riders, that third row should come in handy for kids or an occasional tag-along passenger. Like before, the 4Runner can be turned into a pseudo-convertible by rolling down all four windows, dropping the power-operated rear window, and sliding open the optional sunroof. It's not as open-air as a Wrangler or a Ford Bronco with their roofs removed, but it's a close approximation that lets occupants enjoy nature while traversing trails. The infotainment and technology area is where the 2025 4Runner sees the biggest changes over the previous generation. While the 2024 model was primitive, the new one is relatively high-tech. An 8.0-inch infotainment display is standard and runs Toyota's latest software, which we have found both easy to use and quick to load. A larger 14.0-inch display is optional, as is a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. All models come with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity, USB-C ports, and a digital key system that lets you lock, unlock, and start the 4Runner via a smartphone app. A wireless smartphone charging pad is optional. Toyota equips every 4Runner with a suite of driver assistance features called TSS 3.0. This bundle of systems includes basics such as automated emergency braking and lane departure warning, as well as more advanced offerings such as adaptive cruise control with a lane centering feature and a system that can detect if the driver is non-responsive and bring the 4Runner to a stop if needed. While, unlike the previous generation Land Cruiser, this new one is strictly a 2-row, 5-seat SUV. Toyota has downsized the Cruiser's body this time around, putting it into contention with mid-size rivals such as the Ford Bronco and the Jeep Wrangler, rather than full-size SUVs such as the Chevrolet Tahoe and the Ford Expedition. While the base 1958 trim does without many of the other trim's luxuries, it still offers niceties such as heated seats, a heated steering wheel, and a 6-speaker stereo. The other trim, simply called Land Cruiser, has a more deluxe cabin that includes ventilated seats, a 10-speaker stereo, and available leather upholstery. All Land Cruisers come with Toyota's excellent infotainment system with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but the base 1958 trim makes do with a rather dinky 8.0-inch display. The top trim gets a much larger 12.3-inch touchscreen. USB-C charging ports and a wireless smartphone charging pad are standard fare, but you'll have to pay extra for onboard Wi-Fi or the available 14-speaker JBL stereo system. Like most of Toyota's new models, the Land Cruiser is equipped with a generous list of standard driver assistance features. Bundled together in a suite called Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, you'll find lane departure warning, automatic high-beam headlamps, and adaptive cruise control alongside expected systems such as automated emergency braking. And finally, coming back to the pricing, the price of the 2025 Toyota 4Runner starts at $42,220 and goes up to $59,220, depending on the trim and options. The entry-level SR5 is the only version of the 4Runner that isn't a lot more expensive than its predecessor. When it comes to the non-hybrid model, it strikes us as the best value since it still benefits from many of the new generation's upgrades. Those who want to opt for four-wheel drive instead of two can do so for an extra $2,000. On the other hand, the price of the 2025 Toyota Land Cruiser starts at $57,900 and goes up to $63,900 depending on the trim and options. Though the base 1958 model's classic round headlights are tempting, we think the Land Cruiser trim is the one to go for, as it adds ventilated front seats, a 10-speaker stereo system, a larger 12.3-inch infotainment display, and wider all-terrain tires, among other items. And there you have it, the 2025 Toyota 4Runner and the 2025 Toyota Land Cruiser, two SUVs built to tackle anything life throws at them, each excelling in its own way. The 4Runner sticks to its rugged roots, offering unmatched durability and off-road capability for the adventurers out there. Meanwhile, the Land Cruiser blends its iconic legacy with modern innovation, delivering a refined yet powerful driving experience that's ready for the trail or the city. So, which one earns your seal of approval? The dependable and adventurous 4Runner, or the luxurious and versatile Land Cruiser? This is Parth signing off. Do let me know your thoughts and choice in the comments below. If you loved our content, do consider giving it a thumbs up. In the end, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our new reviews.